Attention, all views and opinions expressed in this video and channel are for educational purposes only.
All right, guys, so let's reset the narrative. If you watched part 1 and part 2, here's where we land. Not every smoke shop should close. Not every smoke shop should sell. Some shops don't need an exit. They need a reset. A pivot is not throwing random products at the wall. A pivot is not waiting for the industry to calm down. A pivot is not hope. It's a deliberate, strategic rebuild of how your shop makes money. And today, I'm going to show you when a pivot actually makes sense. What most owners get wrong when they pivot and the exact framework to reset a struggling smoke shop in just 90 days. This is the path for owners who still have leverage but need direction. All right, guys, let's do it. Hey, Chad Wade here. Let's skip the crap. I've teamed up with Altura Funding to get you the best business funding you qualify for fast, man, and I mean fast. They've got hundreds of banks, term loans, lines of credit, 0% business credit cards for up to 18 months from major banks that you know and love. A tool that automates your P&L, balance sheet, and your cash flow, and shows you more funding you probably qualify for. Click the link below. Fill out the 90-second form, no hard pull, and instantly see your best options. Okay? No fees, no gimmicks, just results. And if you're ready to expand, stock up, or fix your cash flow, hit that link right now. All right, here's a couple questions. Who should pivot and who shouldn't? Let's be honest right up front. A pivot only works if you still have 3 things: a location that still gets foot traffic, enough cash to survive 90 days, and the willingness to change how you operate. Keep it real with yourself if you have all of this. If you don't have those, this video is not your miracle. You should pivot if the shop breaks even or slightly loses money and the market still exists. Your problems are operational and not fatal. You should not pivot though if you're deeply in debt with no runway to help. Your lease is crushing you. The area has permanently declined, and a pivot is a reset, y'all, not CPR on a corpse. Part 2, why most pivots fail. Here's what owners usually do when things get tough. They add new products, new brands, a new display, then they wait. Hey y'all, that's not a pivot. That's procrastination with inventory. Most pivots fail because owners, they don't cut what's broken. They don't retrain the staff. They don't change their pricing models. They don't change positioning. You can't layer success on top of dysfunction. So before you add anything, you have to subtract just ruthlessly and get rid of what's not working. How about a 90-day smoke shop reset framework? You want that? This is going to be the core of the video. Phase 1 is cut and stabilize. Your goal is survival and clarity. Do this immediately. You got to get rid of dead SKUs. You've got to liquidate slow movers. You must reduce SKU count by 20 to 30%. You got to cut unnecessary hours. You got to tighten the shrink controls. And that cash in the register beats inventory on the shelf, y'all. Renegotiate. Maybe even renegotiate your rent, your vendor terms, your payment schedule. Stability must come first. Growth comes later. Now, phase 2, reposition the shop. Now you change how the shop makes money. Ask yourself, what do customers actually come in here for? What has the highest margins and velocity? What categories are legally resilient? This is where smart shops will win. You got to focus on a few categories with better margins, clear customer flow. You must rebuild the displays. You got to rebuild the pricing, rebuild sales scripts for a fact. Your shop should feel different, not cluttered and confused. All right, y'all, phase 3. This is pretty tough here. You got to retrain and resell. This is the most ignored step of it all. Your staff must know the new product mix, know how to explain it, know how to upsell without putting the screws on people and the pressure. Most shops don't have a sales problem. They have a training issue. If employees can't confidently explain a value, your pivot's going to die at the counter. The scripts matter, y'all. Incentives matter. Accountability matters. Now, part 4, the product mix mistake owners keep making. All right, here's a terribly hard truth. Chasing trends is not a strategy. Your pivot should focus on repeatable sales and predictable margins, products that don't vanish overnight. Too many shops bet the business on, one hot product, one legal gray area, one supplier. A pivot spreads risks and tightens your focus. If one category disappears tomorrow, your shop should still stand. If it's not, whose fault was that? Part 5, when a pivot works and when it doesn't. A pivot only works when you totally commit. You measure weekly all your analytics. You correct problems very fast. Now, on the flip side, a pivot fails when you go half-ass into any of this. You avoid hard decisions. You refuse to cut people and products. The pivot window is not forever, guys. 90 days tops. And if it doesn't stabilize your cash flow, well, you got to reassess. Smart owners don't wait years to be right, y'all. It's just the way it is. Now, part 6, the real goal of a pivot. Here's the part nobody's going to tell you. A pivot isn't always about staying forever. Sometimes the pivot stabilizes the business and improves the number, and it makes the shop sellable. A clean pivot can turn a bad exit into a strong sale, a desperate close into some form of leverage. The pivot buys you options. And in this instance, options are power. So, in closing a store is not weakness. Selling is not a failure. Pivoting is not avoidance. They're just tools in your tool bag. The mistake is using the wrong one at the wrong time. If your shop still has a pulse, don't panic. Reset it. Refocus it. Run it smarter. And if you want help building a real pivot plan, hey y'all, that's kind of what I do. Let me know. Hit me up over at chadwadetv.com. Schedule some time. I would love to meet with you on this. I'd love to help you with this. And if not, keep tuning in here. Like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.